Сейчас кайф поймаем.
А я первый кайф поймал.
What's up YouTube, DNZY here, back with another video, and today we're reviewing Revival. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I got a lot of people's opinions on it, and I want to tell you mine. So here we go, let's go. First up is Walk on Water. This track we can kind of skip forward on. I think a lot of people have given it their thoughts. It's pretty much a track where Eminem is conceding his rap god status. Not conceding so much, but pretty much saying, hey, under this facade of a rap god, I'm just a human being, just like you. It's a good song. It was a lead single, then they took it off as a single. I don't even know what the singles are on this anymore because he nixed that and took that title off of it. It's one of the singles. There's a video coming out for it soon, which I definitely can't wait to see. I think Beyonce was a good fit. If you had to do a pop feature on this, I think Beyonce was a good fit because of the fact that she's up there with you, where a lot of people think she's this perfection of voice. She probably feels these pressures just like you, to always perform and always outdo her last stuff. Good call. Your relationship with Jay-Z worked out and you got Beyonce on the track. So I'm giving this one a 6. Now, what I mean by giving it a 6 is this is how we're going to go forward. Each track is going to get its own number rating out of 10, and then at the end we're going to add that up just like a test in high school and average it out. This way I think I can give a better number rating. I see a lot of people just going, I'm feeling 7, I'm feeling 8, I'm feeling 4. So I think this is a better way to give it a rating more unbiased from that. So Walk on Water, you get in a 6. Going forward, Believe. Okay, this track upsets me because it sets a theme for the rest of the album. It's Eminem being self-aware and saying, I know what you want from me. You are my fans and I know what you want from me. Do you still believe in me? The fact that he made this song, if this song wasn't on the album, I think the album for me would have come off a little better. But by putting this song on the album, it really reaches into every other song going forward. I am just blown away with the fact that you can be self-aware and know what's going on and know what your fans are expecting. And mentioning all this, going forward, you just make this Frankenstein record and it just doesn't feel like something that was worth waiting for 4 years. There's rappers out there coming out with albums every 3-4 months, man. And I'm not saying you gotta do that. You know, that would kind of kill it for us. We like the suspense. We like having to wait, believe it or not. We're fucking sadistic like that. But when you do put out an album 4 years later, I feel like there should be more effort and cohesion to the album going forward. Believe is an okay track. It's not the best. It doesn't stand out. It's a good song. I like the idea of it. I'm getting an older Eminem on there. Not older as in age. I'm getting an older version of Eminem on there. And that's the thing with this album. You're going to hear different versions of Eminem on there. I'm not going to say you're going to get a Slim Shady. I'm not going to say you're going to get the Eminem Show Eminem. But you will get a Relapse. You will get a Recovery. You will get a Marshall Mathers LP. And you'll have Slim Shady kind of peek his head out here and there going forward into the album. So, Believe gets a 3. It's nothing great, but it sets a tone. And I think going forward, if it had set a tone and the rest of the albums fit into that tone, then Walk on Water would have been prelude, Believe would have been an intro, and then going forward, you would have had a bomb-ass album. I believe that Believe could have set up something better, and it didn't. So because the album fell through, Believe to me doesn't hold as much weight going forward. So you get a 3. Chorus Septic. Oh my God. Chorus Septic gets a 5. And the only reason it's getting a 5 for me is because I like the beat and I like Fresher's take on the hook. The reason why I'm not giving it more, even though me and M agree with mumble rap, I don't like mumble rap. I get it, it's a genre. I get that trap is a thing. But I've literally met people on the street who try to hit me up because they know I'm an engineer and they play me their shit. And I'm like, bro, you sound like 20 other little Uzi Verts. You sound like a 30,000 other Migos I've heard. You're not standing out and your rhymes are so weak and all you have is an image, which is cool, I guess. But I'm from the age where it's like, bro, I want you to have talent. I want you to have something to say. I want you to have that raw emotion. And that's what we all like about Eminem. So this song, I agree with the subject matter. I like the beat. I don't agree with the fact that you have Fresher on it You say featuring Fresher. He's not featured. He's not a feature. He's your chorus. Okay? Have him rap. He's an up-and-coming artist. I mean, granted, he could just fart on the album, have his name on the credits, and because it's your album, it'll take him places. But have him rap. Have him rap. Considering that you had no other raps on here, have him rap. That is the biggest thing with that. So, Chorus Septic gets 5. Up next, we got The River. The River with Ed Sheeran. The River. So let the river run. Yeah. The River's good, but it's not the best. Ed Sheeran knocks it out of the park with this one. He does his job. He comes in. He nails his vocals. He's probably even playing the guitar on this. Maybe, maybe not. I have a feeling he is, because he's really good at that. The thing is, this is supposed to be like a version of The Monster. Just like with every other Eminem CD in the past. He always has a song that comes out that kind of sounds like this and that together. The Monster to me was better, because even though it had Rihanna on it, I like Rihanna. Not only was the chorus catchy, designed to be, the verses were melodic and they had a flow, and it actually got me pumped somewhat. You know, I'd play it in the summertime and it was just a really good track. And this, I feel like, is supposed to be that type of song on here, but the verses aren't as memorable, aren't as melodic. I feel like he's putting in way too much detail in this track than he would be for The Monster, and it's okay, but I feel like Ed Sheeran carries it. So, The River gets a 5. Okay, for the sake of argument, don't label your intros, your interludes, your outros, unless they're like an actual song. You're just taking up song space. Okay, the Remind Me intro, I'm giving it a 4. I really don't know why, but I'm giving it a 4 so it doesn't bring down your grade. It's not going to help your grade, but it's not going to bring down your grade. So I'm giving it a 4. Now we got to go into Remind Me. Remind Me is good. Rick Rubin on the beat. How do I know? Because Eminem shouts him out in every song so far that he's on. Remind Me is sampling Joan Jett's I Love Rock and Roll. It's sadistic, not sadistic, but it's pervasive in the sense of he's just like, I love you because you remind me of me. That's what he's saying. He's like, me and you get along so well because we're both narcissistic, we're both assholes, we're both perverts, we're both greedy, we're both this, we're both that. It's a good pun, it's a catchy song. I like the sampling on this. Going forward in the album, there's another song that samples, and I don't think it was as well done as this one was. But then again, it's probably 2 different producers on this one. And that's another reason why I'm kind of upset with this album. Stop having multiple producers. You need to get back with the Bass Brothers, or Bass Brothers, or however you say their name. But you need to get back with them, because those guys were fantastic. Them and Dre. I mean, unless they're not doing music anymore, Dre's doing headphones, and maybe those guys are just retired. Who knows? But if you can at least get their inputs, that would make a world of difference. How you don't sit down, Eminem fans, and do one of those surveys or tests or whatever, you know, before you put out an album, I would totally do that before I put out an album. Hey, take a listen to this. Oh, dude, you suck. What the fuck? And if I started realizing that, I'd go back and say, you know, maybe I should do something else. But that's if you care about us. Alex the Kid and Rick Rubin, it's okay. Okay, so Remind Me, you're going to get a 6 on this one. It's more upbeat, it's more poppy. I'm digging it, I'm digging the flow, I'm digging the beat on it. It's not the craziest, coolest thing I've ever heard from you. It was kind of expected on this album, but it's not the worst thing on the CD, so I'm gonna give it a 6. Let's go to the next song. So like I was saying before, the Revival Interlude, I'm going to give you a 5. And the reason is, unlike the Remind Me intro, I actually enjoy this. I feel like it's building up to an actual song, and I really want it to be a song. I want this song to exist somewhere out there. Sadly, the woman who sings it did pass away. I don't know her name, but I remember reading the article about it. I'm gonna look more into this, try to, you know, use this in a way to discover better music out there. So the Revival Interlude, I'm going to give you a 5, just because that's a dope voice. Okay, next song, Like Home. I feel like this is one of those songs you threw on there because you realize halfway through the album, oh shit, I'm gonna put a flag on there, or it's gonna be political. I mean, in the long run, I don't think you need to be making more and more songs about Trump. Now, when you do a freestyle about Trump, that's totally cool. It's a freestyle. You're angry in the moment, calling out one man, but something that's gonna be remembered on an album of yours. This song would have been much better if all it was about was you calling out what's wrong with the system. calling out Trump in maybe a verse or two. You know, you did better with Mosh, you did better with White America. White America was talking about the system and how you made it because you were white. And then literally, you were talking about the science of why white America loves you and why you blew up because you were white and not black, and how if you were black you wouldn't have done half the shit you did. You know, you talked about the science and you talked about what was wrong in America. This whole song is just dedicated to Trump, and the guy probably definitely heard it. You know he heard it. But he's not going to respond to you. And for being such a badass that you are, you're really gung-ho to get this guy to respond. And we all want him to, because obviously if he does, you're probably going to rip him apart. But don't beg for it. You don't need to beg for it. And this song kind of taints it for me. Alicia Keys nails it. You know, if he doesn't get reelected in 2020, 10 years from now, it's just going to seem weird that there's a whole song of Eminem rapping about Trump, when we might even have a bigger problem in office, or we might be getting better. Either way, I don't think you need to make a whole song about Trump. Alicia Keys did nail her part though, so I'm going to give this song a 4. Okay, next song up, Bad Husband. Bad Husband, you're a bad husband, Eminem, how dare you. No. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But Bad Husband, I'm giving a 6. And the reason I'm giving it a 6 is because this song kind of feels like he's on that apology campaign, right? Going forward, you hear him talking to Haley and apologizing to Haley as a kid. On his last album, the Marshall Mathers LP 2, he apologized to his mom with Headlights featuring Nate Roos. That was a good feature. This is Ex-Ambassador's Bad Husband. He calls himself out again. How can you be a lord and a loser, a great dad but a bad husband? So what he's saying is, I'm a god, but he also considers himself to be a loser. I'm a great dad, which nobody's ever denied him that, and a bad husband. It's just an apology to Kim. It's a decent song. I like Ex-Ambassadors on it. You didn't need it. I think you could have made the anti-Kim, the way you did on 2000's Kim. And this is such a juxtaposition for this type of song, where I remember as a kid, it's like, you move again, bitch, I'll beat the shit out of you. And now you're just like, good dad, bad husband, just totally different maturities. And that's why I need to tell you watching this video, if you're into Eminem, you can't keep saying you want that Eminem. Back then, that was a 2000s 26-year-old saying he was going to rape the child of his mother, kill the child of his mother. She's on the cover of the Slim Shady LP, dangling out of the trunk, you know, and now going forward, you have him apologizing. It's a good song, it's emotional, it's raw. Ex-Ambassadors, you had a little too much vocal processing on their voice. Either they're not good singers and nobody knows that, or let them do their thing and just kind of, you know, a little light reverb, and that's really all you need. Bad Husband, you get a 6. Next song, Tragic Endings. Tragic Endings with Skylar Grey. No. You're getting 2. You're getting a 2. I don't like it. You're not saying shit on there. I don't like it. It's not memorable. I don't know what you're doing with it. If you were to come out and tell everybody that you and Skylar Grey were fucking, I'd like it a little bit better. Just come out and say you're fucking, okay? You take her with you everywhere. Take her with you to SNL. Take her with you to the EMAs. Just admit, Em, you guys are hooking up. You're sitting there, and when nobody's looking, you're sticking a finger up in there. Write a song for her. Stop featuring her on your songs. You're getting a 2. I don't want to discuss this. We're just moving on. I'm not feeling it. Framed. It's Framed. And, I mean, hey, you made up a little bit. And see, that's what I'm noticing with this album. You'll have a really bad song, and then the song after that will kind of make up for it. Not by much, but it's definitely like the stock market, man. It's going down, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up. Framed is a great song. It's not the greatest of all time. It's not anything crazy. It's a fantastic song. It's Eminem being zany, crazy, whiny Eminem. Slim Shady, like I said, peeks his head out in this one. It's about a guy who doesn't remember what's going on, and he's talking about killing and murdering. It kind of reminds me of like a less dark 3 a.m. from Relapse. And yeah, you know, it's a good song. It definitely is probably one of my more favorite, if not favorite, songs on the album when it comes to just quality. When it comes to realizing what I like about Eminem and going, this is what I like about Eminem. There's not a lot of it on this album, but there are bits and pieces where I can say, this is why I like them, and this is why I'm like them, and this is why I like them. So Framed, you're getting a 7. I'm digging it. Definitely digging it. Next song. Oh, I don't want to do the next song. Next song is Nowhere Fast. And you know what? We're getting nowhere fast by talking about it. You get a 3. You barely beat out Tragic Endings. I'm just not, no. Just next song. You want to know why it's so bad, go listen to it and you tell me why. I'm not talking about it. I just don't like the song. These are the lows of the album. Tragic End, like these are the songs that should have just been cut. I don't know why they're even on here, man. Why are you doing this? If you had put out a 10 album song with just the good shit, would have been better than a 19 album song with just a lot of fat that needs to be trimmed. Sorry. Nowhere Fast, you get a 3. Next. This one definitely helps with the regret from the last one. And like I said, that's kind of what goes on with this album. There's lows, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up. Heat's dope. You know how I know it's produced by Rick? Because he mentions it twice in the song. And I'm really getting tired of that, dude. Either have Rick do a whole mustard on the beat thing at the beginning or just leave it alone. We get it. Rick Rubin produced it. We're going to figure it out, and the people who care are going to want to know, and the people who don't care don't give a shit who produced it. This song is good. It's getting a 7. I do like the beat. I like the flow. I like the chorus. Something about the chorus. Finally, a song where the chorus sticks out to me, and I enjoy it. He says, girl, if you got buns, I got Asperger's. I'm not the only YouTube reviewer to bring up this lyric. Why am? Who flirts with a chick like that? Yo, girl, you got buns? Because I got Asperger's. Like, you have Asperger's to put in her bun, so you're gonna shit in her ass? Like, is that what? That's how I'm taking it as. Crazy lyrics. I want you to have the lyrics where I'm like, yo, and I realize it's like a double, triple entendre. When you're just saying stuff like it works, it's corny, it works, it's a joke, but don't do that again, bro. Come on. You get a 7 on this. You had fun with this. You and Rick have fun together, it seems. So I don't know if you're fucking Skylar Grey or sucking Rick Rubin's dick, but either way, you're having some fun with this track. Hope you don't get mad at me for going on. Just saying that. But you're gonna get a 7. Heat gets a 7. Next track. Okay, next track is Offended, and it's ironic because as somebody who wants to get offended by an Eminem song, I just don't get offended. I am happy on the fact that you rap really fast on this, and from what I'm reading reports that you actually hit a faster word per minute than Rap God, but it wasn't obviously as long. But the chorus, you're 45 years old, dude, stop saying I'm gonna eat your turds. Like, okay, cool, I'm gonna eat your turds. Yeah, I'm not crazy offended on it. It's a good song. It's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5. Offended gets a 5. It's okay, it's decent, it's nothing crazy, but he's having fun with it. Unfortunately, this is the last song on the album where it's any zany, fun, happy-go-lucky type feel. Everything else going forward is serious, and really I think only 2 of them are ones that I actually crazy enjoy. So next song, and I'll tell you. Need Me by Pink. I'm not talking about it. Pink does great. Eminem sucks. He's getting a 2. Let's move on. I'm sorry. It doesn't stand out. It's a Pink song featuring Eminem. Let's just FYI say that. Okay, there's nothing memorable about this track. I'm just not feeling it. You get a 2. Let's move on to the stuff that I'm actually feeling. All right, let's go. Next song, In Your Head. Eminem sampling the Cranberries, mid-90s hit, Zombie. I like that song. This song to me feels like it belongs on Recovery. I feel like if he had done this in 2010, it would have fit then. I don't know if it fits now. It's an enjoyable song. It's okay. It's nothing crazy, and one of the reasons I like it is the hook, but he didn't write the hook, did he? The hook is just straight up rapping over their chorus for Zombie. So with that said, I'm gonna give In Your Head a 4. Next track, please. So the next 2 tracks, and the reason why I'm discussing them as 2 tracks is because they intertwine with each other. I'm giving Castle and the Rose a 16 together, 8 each. And the reason being is that I actually like these, okay? I like these songs. One does not work as well without the other, if not working at all without the other. They intertwine, and if you listen to them, you'll understand how. These bring me back to an encore era, When I'm Gone vibe from M. Like I said, you get different M&Ms on these songs, and these 2 tracks stand out to me. I do dig them. If you had made a whole album that built up to these, it would have been fantastic. But everything else does not complement these. These stand out on their own. These are probably the only two songs that complement each other on the album. Whereas one might salvage the previous song and then kind of give you a better mindset going into the shitty song that's after it. But these two songs are probably the only time in the album where you're like, oh, that's great. And then the next song, oh, that's even better. The only time you get that feeling on this album. I'm digging it. This is his story to Haley. This is his story to his daughter. He apologizes to Kim, and this is him kind of apologizing to Haley as a kid. Not that he did anything wrong to her, but this is him apologizing about not keeping the marriage going, about not doing the things that he should have done for her, just being there for his daughter more than what he did. He wanted to be there for her more, and he's happy the way she turns out, but this is him telling her what happened. This is him also telling a story of how he could have gone down one of two paths. The first song shows you the first path, and the second song shows you the second path. When you listen to the second song, it reverts back into the first song, and it's really well done. Definitely good to put it at the end of the album, but honestly, I don't think a lot of people are going to get to the end of this album if they're not crazy fans of yours. Some people might just turn it off. Okay, so adding up all the numbers, we're going to have an average score of 5.1. I'm giving it a score of 5.1. Going forward, I feel like Eminem needs to make a swan song, and this is not it, okay? Eminem has a classic in his repertoire inside of him somewhere. Don't go out on this, Em. I really don't think you should. You're 45 years old. Are you going to put out another album, especially since the fact that you make people wait 3-4 years? Are you really going to release another album at 49? Do we want an album at 49? Are you still going to have that same fire inside of you? I don't know. All I'm saying is this should just be a tide over. This should not be what you go out on. The album cover doesn't make any sense. 2 or 3 tracks are political out of 19. It's zany, it's crazy. I tried really hard to like it. But as a fan, as someone who can really critique you, who knows your music, who knows what you're capable of, who knows where your passion's at, knows what you can do and what you can't do, and you know how to tell a story, and you know how to make an album really come alive, and it doesn't feel like this. It feels like you worked on this for maybe over 2 years, if not just a year, and you made a song here and there, and you kind of threw them together and said, this is the album, slap that album on it, call it a day, let's make some money. Not to say that you don't put your skill and effort into this. I mean, you do a lot of lyrical acrobats on this, and I'm always a fan of that. It's just, each song can be graded as good. Each song can be said, okay, I like that, if you just put it out as a single. But when you put it together as an album, there's a deeper picture behind an album, and it just falls flat. So, 5.1, that's your average score. That's what I'm giving Revival. DNZY, next. Now we're going to go on to the thoughts from Reddit, because this is something I did for you guys partially. I went on to Reddit, and there's a subreddit for Eminem fans, by Eminem fans. And if you think that those guys are just all about sucking his dick, you are completely wrong. There's people hating on him, there's people loving him, there's people just calling him out for anything. They are probably the only people, I'd say, who can actually critique him, because they know his stuff, just like me. I'm one of them, and this is why I'm doing it. So I asked a few questions on Reddit, and I wanted people to give their responses. Pretty much the questions were, what do you like about this album as a whole? What do you dislike as a whole? What's your favorite track? What's your least favorite track? Do any songs hit you personally? Your thoughts on the features? On a scale of 1 to 10, what you feeling? So MPacwin1064 says, what do you like about the album as a whole? He loves the variety Eminem put on the album. You have sad, sentimental songs. You have rock, rap, bangers. Songs that are straight hip-hop and songs that play around with new age rap. There's something for everyone on this record, and I really love that. I don't agree with that. Somewhat I do, there is, but it doesn't feel like it was an on-purpose thing. It feels like it was just somebody who had an idea of one thing, and it really got misconstrued as another. I don't think it was that intentional to be just all over the place, even though it is. What do you dislike as a whole? The fact that there aren't any rap features, and this goes on for everybody. Fresher needed to have a rap. And I swear to God, if this was the song that you took 2 Chainz off of, I just really wasn't appreciative of that. I just finally got into 2 Chainz, thought that maybe he could have contributed something. Even if you're not a fan of 2 Chainz, if 2 Chainz did a verse, and notice how he's not on it. So you want to say, at the beginning of the song, do we believe in you? And yet, when we find out that you kick a rapper off because he wrote a full verse, instead of just doing the hook, and you found Fresher who was like, yes, I'll just do the hook. And when we find this stuff out, it kind of goes, dude, why'd you do that? It's a little insulting. Let Fresher have a chance, just like Dre gave you one. Do that for somebody, M. You touch anything of somebody else's, and they're blowing up. So do that for some people. Don't do that for pop features where they're all good. Because again, it sounds like you're riding the coattails, and you don't need to be doing that. You're Eminem. You don't need to be doing that. PM Me Your Concern says, this album is a solid 7 because the highs seem better than the highs of any solo album post Eminem Show. My problem with Revival is that the lows on this album also seem lower than the lows on prior albums as well. Agreed. A Rose and Bad Husband are instant classics to me. Believe might be my favorite Eminem song to occupy the number 2 slot on an album. White America is close. Okay, I can see that. But again, Believe for me sets up a narrative that I don't like. Beefy Seahorse. What's up, Beefy Seahorse? He wrote, what do you like about the album as a whole? It feels fun. M sounds like he enjoyed making the majority of the album, which is always a good thing. I enjoyed most of the rock samples too. Also, the fact that there were many different facets of him on this project made it cool to listen to. The day someone doesn't have fun making music, I feel like it's just the day they're gonna give up. And I don't know if he had crazy fun on this, but if he did have fun, he didn't give a fuck about who was gonna hear it. He probably did have fun. Him and Rick Rubin probably always party in the studio. That's how you know Rick. Again, that's how you know it's a Rick produced track, because he won't stop talking about Rick fucking Rubin on the track, calling him out. Bro, Rick should have like a Rickard on the beat, ho, you know, something like that. But yeah, I kind of agree with your sentiments here. What do you dislike? He wishes there were more rap features. Oh, rap features, rap features, rap features, rap features. Yes, these are what people are saying. Rick Rubin and Alex the Kid did okay. And that's totally true. I was looking for more hard-hitting beats like Untouchable's second half. I really want Dre back. Yes. Don't forget about Dre. Do not forget about Dre. Okay? I said it. Don't forget about Dre. What's your least favorite track? Either Need Me or Tragic Endings. And we all know how I feel about that. So, I agree. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate it? He rates it an 8. I just can't say an 8. Can't. My numbers, I think, speak for each song, and adding it up. If I had to judge the album as a whole, I would still agree with my initial per track average. 5. There you go. 2 squirts of piss. You gotta love these Reddit usernames. What did you like about the album as a whole? The variety. There's something for everyone here. My finances. My fiance is a casual Eminem fan compared to me, who is more hardcore, and my favorite tracks on the album are her least favorite, and vice versa. I like how if I want Relapse Eminem, there's a track. Recovery Eminem, there is a track. Marshall Mathers LP2, there's an M for that. There's an M for that. There's an app for that, and there's an M for that. I do agree with it. Favorite track of his is Castle. It's hard to choose. It's a throw-up between Framed, Defended, In Your Head, Castle, and Rose. Least favorite track, Need Me. A lot of people are saying that. Ed Sheeran definitely holds his own on this, as I agree. I think it would suffer if anyone else did it. Walk on Water would have been much better if Adele had done it. Yeah. I would have preferred to hear 2 Chainz on the track in his verse. Even a verse from Fresher would have been cool. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it? And he says a solid 7. At first, it would have been a 5 or 6, but the album absolutely is a grower, and the last 3 tracks especially are phenomenal content. I'm digging that. You know. And then lastly, we have Spectre Is My Name. And he is downvoted because I asked him, what do you overall like about the album? And he just goes, nothing. What do you dislike as a whole? And he just says it's a complete mess. At least until you cut a good chunk of tracks, there's really no central theme or topic, barely any cohesion whatsoever. The political angle and overly dramatic cover is essentially a gimmick. The content of the album is mostly all just retreaded ground for Eminem. What's your favorite track? Castle and Rose, they're basically a pair, amazing tracks, some of his best in years. The album would have been borderline trash without them. I'm not calling it trash, just considering that it's not the best work he's done. And going forward, he definitely could put out something better than this, and it wouldn't take much effort. There you go, guys. We got the reviews from Reddit. We got the reviews from DNZY yourself. We got the reviews from each track. Go and listen to the album. Put in the comments what you think about it. Tell me if you agree or disagree with my work. And also, if you can, like and subscribe on this channel. I'm trying to grow it. We're trying to have some fun with it. If you're out here in Los Angeles, send me a comment, send me a PM, send me a tweet, DNZY_music. I'm on Instagram, DENZY music. Follow me, like me, whatever I gotta do to be a whore for you guys, because apparently that's what you gotta do to get the likes and to get the subs. This is DNZY signing off. Let me know what you think. Hasta mañana, your mother. Later. Peace.